This week's episode is from a presentation I did recently on raising private money to fund our deals in today's economy with rising interest rates and really competitive market for finding deals. If we can use private money, it unlocks a whole lot of opportunities and allows us to make a lot more money. Additionally, stay to the end of the video. I've got some information about an upcoming training that's available if you want to really deep dive on private money. All right, enjoy. So we're going to break the potential lenders down. We've been saying traditional lender and private lender. We're going to start to distinguish them. So put them in two categories. There are professional lenders and there are private lenders. And generally the distinction between what category someone fits in is who sets the rates and the rules, who provides the documents. So if we go to a bank, the bank is going to tell us what rate they're lending at. Whether they offer a 30-year mortgage or a 20-year or 15-year amortization, whether they'll offer interest only, whatever it is, they dictate it. When we go to the closing, they're going to provide their documents, right? And it's the same thing if we're talking to a hard money lender. They're going to say what interest rate they lend money at, what the costs of the loan are, what documents they use. However, it's totally the opposite if we're dealing with a private lender. So with a private lender, generally, they aren't used to the idea that they even could be lending on real estate deals. Usually we're giving them this new opportunity that they didn't know about. And so they'll ask questions. Well, what is the return? And so we get to tell them the interest rate we're willing to pay. Right now, the interest rates that I offer are 6 to 8%. Generally, it's 6 to 7%, but I have one lender who's still at 8. Okay, that's what I offer. When you start talking to your private lenders, you can offer whatever rate you want to offer, but it's up to you, not the lender. Additionally, we're the ones who say we're offering loans for 4 years, for 10 years. We're offering interest-only payments or amortized payments. It's up to us. And when we go to closing, we're going to be the one that provides the documents. All right. So if you talk to somebody at a real estate meeting about potentially lending and they tell you what rates they lend at, they are generally not a private lender. Additionally, because these are personal lenders, one, we need to focus on relationships because that's a lot of what the approval process is that relationship. But two, we must vet our lenders. And so there are rules with the SEC as to who we can borrow money from, and we don't want to raise any red flags. So we need to be able to vet them out and know if they are accredited or sophisticated, or if they have an advisor. Make sure they understand what the investment is. All right, so with professional lenders, they're going to dictate the terms. They're going to have closing costs, either origination fees or points. They're going to provide the documents. The approval process is going to be long, arduous. It may include the blood of your firstborn son. I don't know. They get pretty extreme sometimes. And the risk, they're going to try to put all the risk on you, the borrower. Okay, that's generally how they structure the deals. Alternatively, private lenders, we dictate the terms. We don't have any closing costs involved. There aren't origination fees or points. We provide the documents. The approval process is a discussion between us so that we come to terms on what exactly we want. And the risk is not put on any one party or the other. We are in this transaction together, and we see that for either one of us to be successful, we both need to be successful. Okay, so we're going to structure deals, which I'm going to talk about tonight. We're going to structure deals so that it reduces risk for both parties. We're not competing. We're not trying to place the risk on one or the other. which is really beneficial and is a much more exciting way to do business. So who are these private lenders? Where are they? What do they want? How can we best serve them? That's the key question, right? Once we understand them, how do we serve them? So you've heard me talk about this a bunch of times. Success comes from serving others. I love this quote from Zig Ziglar: you can get everything in life you want if you'll just help enough other people get what they want. So our key task is to figure out what our potential lenders want and how do we structure our deals to fit what they want. All right. Now, in the real estate space, too often you see this done completely incorrectly. And so the number one example of that is asking for money. We don't want to ask someone for money. If we're asking for money, is that focused on what that lender wants, or is that focused on what we want? If we're asking for money, the focus is us and what we need, right? Not at all what the lender needs. So that's a totally wrong perspective. But we see this all the time. You see people coming into RIA meetings and they say, I've got this great deal. I just need $60,000 to close. All right. Think about that statement. I have a great deal. I need 60K to close. That has nothing to do with the lender and nothing to do with how we can serve the lender's needs, right? Additionally, you see Facebook posts all the time. Hey, I'm raising money for my deals. I'll offer 8%. Again, focused entirely on the investor, not at all on the lender. Additionally, that raises major red flags with the SEC if you do a post like that. So you should never do a general post talking about trying to raise money just generally. That is a serious no-no. And then there's texting, Facebook messaging. I get the text all the time. I've got this great deal, same exact wording. I need so much to close. There's nothing about me as a potential lender, what I'm looking for and how they can serve me. All right. So if we understand our lender's needs and we offer an investment that fits their needs, we will get a yes. Right? Would you agree with that statement? If we understand their needs and we offer an investment that fits their needs, we'll get a yes. Why would we not get a yes, right? Okay, if you like what you're hearing so far, throw a yes. If you agree with that, throw a yes in the chat, just so I can know you guys are awake. Do you agree? If we understand our lender's needs and we offer an investment that fits their needs, all right. Thanks, William, Maria, Elias, Sham, Georgia.
Yes.
Love it. Appreciate you guys. Merhawit. Yes. All right. Appreciate it. So one example of this was I worked with a woman named Casey, and she understood the concepts. She had taken my course. She was on board, right? She understood how the process worked. She had one major hangup, and that was, in her mind, she felt like she didn't know the right people, that she didn't somehow have the right connections to these potential lenders. And she had kind of a tough background that she had come from, just felt like she didn't know the right people. And so I believe everybody comes in contact with these potential lenders. And so I worked with Casey, we worked on her story. And so we worked on how to share her story in just 3 quick sentences. So she shared 1, what was exciting or what she was passionate about with her business. 2, what exactly she did. Was she buying rentals? Was she doing flips? Whatever it was. And number 3, how other people could play a part in her business. All right. So we tweaked hers so it was specific to her. So she was excited to share that. And she worked at a barbershop. And so she interacted with all kinds of people throughout the day, right? Every customer that came in, she greeted them. But now she was going through the group coaching that I do. And so her goal for the week or challenge for the week was that every customer that came in, when they did that natural greeting, hey, how are you? What's new and exciting, right? How have you been this week? Then she was, if when it naturally fit, she was supposed to give her 3-sentence introduction. So what she was excited about with her new business, what exactly she was doing, how others can play a part. So she just naturally did that, right? And it was easy to do because she was excited and committed to her success. And some people didn't respond at all. Some people said, oh, interesting. What's that involve? And one person said, I would love to meet and hear more about it. And so she got her deal funded in that first week of just sharing her story, right? Most people struggle thinking they don't know the right people, but in reality, it's more a question of how do you share your story so that others are excited by it and see that they can play a part in it. All right, so our ideal lender is a lender who will lend to us long-term. They are thrilled with 6% to 7% interest or return on their money, and they like the idea of investing in real estate. Now, finding somebody who likes the idea of investing in real estate is not hard in these times. When I started in 2013, the real estate market was pretty low, and there were plenty of people who didn't think it was smart to invest in real estate. But right now, that third criteria is really easy to find because everybody knows how hot the real estate market has been. All right, I hope you benefited from that instruction. Raising private money really has changed my business and greatly impacted my life. I know it'll have a huge impact on your business and life as well. And if you really want to dive into how to raise private money, how to use it to grow your business, do more deals, make more money from the deals you're currently doing, or really scale your business, I have a private money accelerator coming up. That is a 6-week small group coaching program where we work through this whole process together. Most everybody raises money and gets the funding for their deal within that 6 weeks. So if you are ready to take the next step and really have an impact on your business, go to truewealthinvestors.com and you can hit the courses tab and you'll see the accelerator program. If you have any questions, hit the contact tab, reach out to me through email. I'd be happy to answer any questions for you. But I really hope to see you there in the Private Money Accelerator. It will have a huge impact and unlock a lot of deals for you. All right, thanks again for joining. I'll see you next week. And as always, keep building your dream life one door at a time.